Are we on? We are. Okay, so let's talk about my top 10 drum hacks. So number 1 is moon jab. Alright, it's a great thing, it works very well. The only thing is, it's pretty expensive for what you get. You can get a cheaper way, which are these little things which are called gel Klingons. They're the stuff that the kids use to stick on the windows. Like you might have the alphabet, or you might have some Halloween themed ones, or Christmas ones with ho 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 or Santa Claus or something like that. And they work just as good. What you do is you take it off and stick it on just like the little moon jazz, and stick it onto all the drums. They stay on perfectly, and it works just as well. So if you want to get the proper crack out of your snare drum, a lot of people think you hit direct center. That's a load of bullshit. If you go from the direct center and you go up and slightly to the right, just make a little circle, and right there is where you want to hit the drum to get the biggest sound out of the snare drum. Now, the thing is, people go, well, it doesn't work for my snare. It does. Any snare drum, whatever wood, whatever metal, that is the right way. So if you go from the center, go slightly up and across. So when you hit with the tip of the stick, it's going to make a louder sound. And then even when you go for a rim shot, it's going to have more surface area for the actual stick to create a bigger sound. Okay, so this one I learned in drum college is a pretty kick-ass one. Get your drumsticks and try and find out the pitch of the drumstick. See which one's higher. So hold it very loosely in this hand and give it a hit with the nail. And then do it to the other one. And I can find out that that one there is the higher pitch. If you play with that drumstick that's the higher pitch on the hi-hat, you're going to get a way more higher pitch hi-hat sound, if that's what you're after. So when you get the higher pitch stick, just put a little marker at the bottom, and then you'll know which one you got to play your hi-hat with. Sit on the edge of the drum seat like I'm doing here, and you're going to have all this space at the back, and you're leaning forward. All right, you don't want to be in the middle like a lot of people are, or even at the back. You see, if you're on the edge, you're leaning in towards the drum kit, and so what's happening is, yeah, it's easier to get around the drum kit, but also you're putting all your weight forward, which is going to help you out with this really tight hi-hat sound. Now watch as I move backwards how it'll loosen up. That's the middle. That's rest. So you want to be right at the edge, close that up, and really lean forward, and then you're going to get that nice tight hi-hat sound. If you arrive to a gig and you don't have any form of dampening, you don't know what to do, the snare drum sounds like this. You get that loud, high-pitched ring, and there's nothing you can really do. Well, there is. Just get out your wallet, stick your wallet down, and all of a sudden, you've got your very own dampener. It stays there. The weight of the whatever you have inside the wallet will pretty much stick there, and it works perfectly. Okay, so what happens if you want a quiet hi-hat sound and a loud snare sound? There's a problem there, because you're going to be keeping your hi-hat hand down, and your snare hand's going to want to go up. So you're going to be like, it's an issue. If you get your hi-hat hand, move it out to the edge, or even move your hi-hat slightly out there, you still have that option of being here, but you can move out and so my hi-hat hand stays very, very low, and my snare hand has freedom of movement. Okay, so this is a really good one. Get your stick bag and keep it on the snare. Don't have it over here on the floor tom. That seems to be a place where everybody puts it. And there's really no point, because if you lose it with your right hand, then you're not going to be able to cross over. If you drop either one of the sticks, they're easy to get straight from the snare drum. These little earrings, they're great. They're pretty inexpensive, you can buy them, but you can pretty much do the same thing from your old drum skin, so don't throw it away. You stick it on, and these can become a very cool fat snare drum sound. Alright, and you can also make other things from the drum skins. So, for instance, I've got a whole rack of stuff that I used here. Make your own big fat snare drum, even bigger and fatter snare drum from that particular, oh, that's the wrong one, from this one, that one there. And then you can also just make a simple O-ring from that, and they work just as good as the ones you buy in the shop. This is going to get you that lovely cross stick sound. So just think of this as a face of a clock, and what we got here is 12, we've got 1, we've got 2, we've got 3 and 4 and so on, blah blah blah. What you want to do is go to 2 o'clock and go from 3/4 of the way from the butt end of the stick to the top. That's assuming that you're going this way. That is the sweet spot, 2 o'clock. Now if you can do one better, flip it around, and I much prefer that because it's way more solid, but some people want it not so intrusive, so they go for this side. Big secret is 2 o'clock, 3/4 of the way from wherever you are from here to there. How to get extra longevity out of the drumstick. And that's very simple. If you have 4 pairs of drumsticks you just bought, all you gotta do is name each drumstick with a number. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 for each set. And what you're gonna do then is you're gonna alternate in between. So you're going to use one set for maybe half of that show and go on to the next set. And then the next gig you're going to go to number 3, and then for the other half of that show you're going to go to 4. And then you're going to go back to number 1 on the next show after that. And you're going to keep alternating. And what happens is the drumstick over time just hardens up. It's not put under so much stress at the beginning, and you get a lot longer lifespan out of the drumsticks.
Guys, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, and if you like what you've seen here today, you can see a lot more videos. Just click on any of them here on the screen.